Hello and welcome to this video tutorial on web-based mind mapping tools. The first tool I'm going to show you is called Popplet, so I'll just go ahead and Google Popplet. You'll see the first link that comes up is popplet.com. I'm going to skip the try it out option and go straight to login. It's important to do so because if all I do is try it out, I can't even save the Popplets I make. So go ahead and make yourself an account if you don't already have one. I'll log into the tool. Once I've done so, I can click on this pink Make a New Popplet button to make a new Popplet. And the first thing I'll do is I'll go ahead and give it a title. I'll choose a default color, and I'll click on the blue Make It So button. See, once I've done so, I've got a blank canvas in front of me. I can double click anywhere I want on this blank canvas, and it brings up my first Popple. Now, it's got a cursor blinking that you can see, so I can add text, but I could also choose to draw things or upload things such as images. So I'm not strictly speaking limited to text options. So I'll go ahead and post in inclusionary administrative praxis as the central theme of this mind map. And let's see, I'm going to add another Popplet. You can see if I just double click anywhere else on the blank canvas, a new Popplet forms. And I'll call this one Culture. Now I'm going to show you two unique abilities of this tool in order to build a mind map. The first is that I can grab these little radial buttons to click and drag them to connect different components of my mind map. I can also click on the border colors for each Popple so that I can change depending on the level of the particular Popple in my mind map. I'm going to go ahead and pause the tutorial for a moment while I continue to fill out the rest of this mind map so I can show you some of the other features of this tool. Alright, so I've finished adding the other Popples to my mind map, and I've changed the color to differentiate the level within the mind map. What I'm going to show you now are a few different things. The first being, if I select this gear wheel, you can see I have the ability to organize my Popples, so that either means aligning them horizontally or vertically or distributing heights, widths, making columns or rows, anything of that nature. When I go to the Add Content option in the menu, you can see I can actually add YouTube and Vimeo videos. So for example, I might search for something about community values, and I see there's a YouTube video on community values. Now, if I already knew the video that I wanted, I could simply paste the web URL in this field down here. But I'm just searching up the video for now just to exemplify or demonstrate, how I could add a video to my mind map. So I could drag this down here and I can click and drag it to connect this video on what are community values to the societal and community values exceptions Popple. So you can see I'm not limited to text or drawing or images. I can also incorporate rich multimedia such as videos from YouTube in my mind map. I'm going to go ahead and just delete that YouTube edition for now. So I've completed my mind map and I'm ready to share it with my learners. There are a few different ways that I can do this. One is to click on the gear wheel up here and I can export the mind map either as a PDF, which I can disseminate as an attachment to an email, embed directly on Sakai as a document, or share as a hyperlink to the resources folder on Sakai. I can also export as an image, which again, it can be disseminated through email, embedding it on Sakai in a lessons page, or in a folder, or even on a forum post. I'm going to show you a further way to do this, a more interactive way to add the Popplet, and that's to click on the Share button up in the top right. Now I should also add at this moment that I can actually add collaborators to this Popplet and allow other people to also edit this Popplet. That's right, multiple individuals can collaboratively edit this mind map using this mind mapping software. But just to get back on track, what I'm showing you how to do now is share this on your Sakai site with your students or your peers. Next, I'll click this embed button. You can see it's a little less than greater than symbol. That's the universal symbol for embedding. Once I do so, and if you might be prompted, I've already gone through this once before, you might be prompted to say, yes, I am willing to share this publicly. Now that I've done so, you can see in the bottom right, there's an embed it option, and I'm going to copy this embed code by pressing Control-C. And next thing I'm going to do is go back to a new tab on my internet browser in Sakai. I'm going to go to one of my lessons pages. And you can see here, I've got a placeholder that just says descriptive text. That might be some of the text that introduces a particular learning module that you might be on, or background information. When I click to edit this, I then click source. And you'll notice that the appearance changes a little bit of the page, because what's happened is when I click on source, I'm letting my editor know that I'm going to give it some functional text, some HTML coding, that embed code I just copied a moment ago. I'll press Control V to paste that embed code that I had copied to my clipboard. I'll select Save, and you'll see that I have now just a couple security prompts there, so are you sure you want to show the material on this page? You can see that I've now successfully embedded this Popplet on my page. And why I've chosen to embed it over the image, that you can see that when it's embedded, it actually becomes much more interactive, where I can zoom in and zoom out, and I can click and scroll around the page. Comparatively speaking, if this was just an embedded image or PDF, I would be, if this was, for example, a very large mind map, it might be very hard to see some of the smaller elements, and I wouldn't be able to click and zoom around to previews. Now, I think I will show you quickly just how you would share it if you wanted to embed it as an image in one of your lessons. So I would click on the little gear wheel up here. I'd go to Export, Export as JPEG, and I'd put it somewhere on my file system where I'd want it, like on my desktop. I'll name it Inclusionary Administrative Praxis, save. And then I'll go to a new tab, my Brock LMS. And you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to, let's see here, just deleting the embedded version. And what I'll need to do is first I'm going to need to go to Resources, and I'm going to need to add, upload files. Click on Drop Files to upload. I'll select from my desktop and grab the Inclusionary Administrative Praxis file. Click on Open. And continue. You can see I've now uploaded a second one. Actually, the first one I titled wrong, and you can see I'm going to remove that right here now. So here it is, Inclusionary Administrative Praxis as an image in my resources folders. Now I'm going to go to Lessons. I'm going to edit the text element in this lesson. And I'll put my cursor where I want the image to appear, below the descriptive text. And up in the menu bar, I'm going to select the image icon. And it asks me for an address for the image. Well, I'm going to select Browse Server. And I'll just wait for Sakai to boot up. I'm sure you've been here before. And maybe I'll pause it while we're waiting. All right, here's the image in my resources folder. I will select it. Right now it's got a default width and height. You can change these to your liking. So I'm going to just select OK. And I can already tell it's going to be a bit too big. So let's see what happens. I select Save. Actually, it looks just right, really. But if you did want to change the size, you could. You'd select Edit, double-click that image, and you can play around with those width and height variables to get it to a different size that you think might be more suitable. So you saw me just change that number quickly. You can see it shrunk down in size. So there we go. That's how you can actually export the Popplet as an image, upload it to the resources folder on Sakai, and then embed it in one of your text elements on your Sakai lessons page.